What's up, YouTube family? Gerald Greenlee here with Clean and Green Lawn Service in South Georgia. Cracked screen on the GoPro and all. Let me tell y'all about this real quick. And if you know anything about a GoPro Hero 7 Silver, you can help me out with this. I found 2 videos where guys were replacing the lens cover, this protective cover that's cracked here. And one of them had a website. One of them didn't give you any option to get the part. One of them had a website that was, I don't know where that thing was at, but it was sketchy. And at least to me, I mean, it wasn't even in English. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But anyway, aside from that, with some cracked lens, I'll try to get y'all some footage. Got a big day. It's Friday. This probably won't go up till tomorrow or Sunday, but I got 3 to cut, 2 cleanups. Got to put some fertilizer down at another property. Got some hedges to trim. And when I say hedges, I mean, last time I was out there, it took me 6 hours or 7 hours to trim them. Now, they were in bad shape. They're in a lot better shape now. Obviously, I'm not going to get all that done today. I'm planning on going to cut my 3 Fridays properties and do the 1 cleanup that's in town, which I figure is going to take me probably about 4 hours to do. I got to cut a tree up, move it to the back of the property, string trimming, and then just really running over it. The grass is not thick, it's just got some tall weeds growing in it, but nobody's living there right now, so I'll probably shoot you some footage of that. But anyway, that's my day. All right, y'all don't be making fun of my nasty truck, but here's my haul from the dealers. 2 sets of blades for my X1 60-inch. I got the oil. Got a filter down here. And another edger blade. They didn't have but one. I was going to get a couple of them. Hey, let me show y'all something real quick. You want a good book to read? Right there. A.W. Tozer, The Crucified Life. A.W. Tozer was a... man, he was good. But, anyway, just thought I'd share that with you since it was back here. I took that to the beach with me when I go to the beach. And my wife loves the beach. I'm not really a huge fan, but, you know, I try to be a good husband and be a fan of whatever my wife's a fan of. So, I usually take me a book out there to read. But, anyway, about to head to the first property now. All right, here's a little shot of the second yard. It's a nice yard. That's the one you probably seen. I did all this straw back in a while back. This is the first time I've cut it this way. I normally cut it like this or a diagonal, but it's actually faster this way. I mean, obviously where you can make the longest run and the least amount of passes. But anyway, I can show you the back of this one, I think. It's a really nice place, man. Got a mother-in-law suite here. And I'm not sure what all's in it. I've never even been in it. And it's got a shop out there. And he's got a dog pen over here. He's got a garden behind the shop. Really nice piece of property. Got an in-ground sprinkler. Try to get y'all a little shot of this community, the subdivision here that I go in. It's a really nice place. I mean, I got nice yards in other places, but this is just a nice community. Placid Acres. What's the name of it? Got some really good looking lawns in here. This guy across the street from the one that I cut, man, he's got a nice lawn. It's right over there, this house over here. And this guy across the road's grass I cut says that this is an older couple. He says, man, they're out in the yard every day working, doing stuff, but it is a pretty yard. Got a lot of stuff in it. And this yard's starting to grow now. This is looking good. Looking good, looking good. I see he's got his sprinkler out. He had a ton of leaves. And really doesn't look that bad. But it's been 2 weeks. I can see the bahia shooting up in the back. So we're going to take care of it. All right, I'm headed to the next property. Stop. Ate me a foot-long sub and a king-size Reese Fast Break. Drank the Mountain Dew. I'm drinking another bottle of water now. So, you know, I ain't really gonna want to do much work, but I got to get it done. All right, we have arrived. Oh my goodness, it feels so much better in that air conditioner than it does stepping out. That's the tree or the limb, or I guess that's actually just a big limb off of this tree or something. I don't really know. But anyway, I think I'm gonna cut that one off hanging down over there while I'm here. Simply because I could end up cutting this bi-weekly. I don't know that, but it, you know, while I'm doing it, it ain't gonna take long to knock it off. So probably get up in there and get snake bit. So I got to get this up. The property goes, I don't know if you can see the picket fence. I'm sure you can over here. The end of that, it goes all the way across here to these trees. This little there's a little tree line right down through here. And like I said, nothing's been done to this all year, you know. But there's really not any grass. I mean, you know, you got these things right here that are like knee high or whatever. But you know, and there's some bahia out in there, and it does thicken up out in here. It's gonna be, but and then, you know, the whole property like that. Limbs. Just all over the place out there. Limbs all under there. And then trim it up good around the house. Like I said, the property owner does not live here. She lives with her daughter, and her daughter's the one contacted me about doing the cleanup. So there's a couple of pine trees out front here. So, you know, pine cones got to trim. There's a bank all the way down the front I'll have to trim. But Anyway, I'm hoping I can get it done in 4 hours. That's my goal, so we'll see what happens. I guess I better get off of here and get started. It's hot. 94, 95 degrees. I like the hot weather though, I ain't gonna complain, but my goodness. How nasty I am. I think I done drank enough water to, sorry about that, drown a whale. Man, it's a property. Four hours. But, man, she's looking a lot better. Got the entrance cleaned up. I didn't really do anything up inside the beds. I did knock that down a little bit, knock these down a little bit, but I didn't really clean up inside of them. I mean, the main thing they wanted is the grass cut. And that tree gone. I'm not gonna go way over on that side of the yard, but here's a big area where I did the camera, recorded, mowing. I'll get there in a minute. Anyway, I'm gonna load up, get home, and get cleaned up, Friday nights, date night. I always take my wife out on Friday night. Started that when I first become a pastor, because you can get so, well, with a business or anything for that matter, a pastor has a tendency to, I hope that air conditioner ain't gonna drive you crazy. I'll turn it down a little bit. Pastor has a tendency sometimes to minister to everybody in the church but his family, and it can consume a lot of time. Being out late at night, checking on people, going to the hospitals, you know. But for you Christians that go to church, I'll leave you with this thought. Adrian Rogers once said, if you don't know who Adrian Rogers is, you need to look him up. He told young preacher boys, he said, listen, the church is the bride of Christ. And that's what the Bible teaches. The church is the bride of Christ. He said, you let Christ take care of his bride, and you make sure you take care of your bride, young preacher boy. And that stuck with me. You know, my wife's been very good to me. There's never been anything I've ever wanted to do that my wife didn't support me in. And, you know, I couldn't do what I do without her. I mean, I guess I could. Some people have to do that. I don't know how in the world they do it. But, you know, my wife's, she was made for me. And I was made for her, I reckon. But I say all that to say this. I take care of my wife, so I spoil my wife. So here you go. Whether you're in ministry, you got a lawn business, you got a high demanding job, and really anybody, but I'm just saying those kind of folks, business owners and people that are in positions of leadership and in ministry, those things can consume you. And you don't forget about the one that supported you along the way. And you might say, well, my wife hadn't supported me, you know. Well, maybe, you know, maybe you need to start, you need to be the one to get the ball rolling to do for her, even though maybe she hadn't supported you along the way. So anyway, hey, that's just free stuff. I think I might put that in the title. Maybe somebody will watch to the end and at least catch that. That's more important than cutting grass, I'm telling you. Your wife and your kids, don't sacrifice them on the altar of money and what you might define as success, because I can tell you, if I'll leave you with this. I'm being the preacher now. The preacher never stops. He says we'll be done. My last point, and then goes on for 15 minutes. If you gain it, it doesn't matter what you gain if you lose your family in the process, because ultimately you've lost. That's a good word. My prayer for you is always the same. Here we go. Hopefully this will be, here we go with one more thing. Hopefully this will be up before Memorial Day. I got a good friend of mine. Every year I wait on him to post that Memorial Day is for those that made the ultimate sacrifice. Veterans Day is if you're like me and you've served. So remember those that have lost loved ones in the service. And now let me close. My prayer for you is always the same, that the Lord might richly bless you and that you might see all of your blessings as from him.